Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. Good afternoon. Japan is just after a nice meal, so everybody is a bit, I would say sleepy. So we gonna hope to share a bit. So thanks for the introduction. Indeed, I started the journey on food waste about 10 years ago now. Started from the hotel sustainability angle. So I was working first with Accor Hotel Group, and then with the UN on addressing issues such as energy, water, waste, chemicals, staff awareness, guest engagement. And then started to realize that there was those bins full of food. And I'm not from the industry, so first I thought like I was a bit of a fraud, I was like, okay, I'm not a chef, but I need to ask because I see those bins full of food. I'm like, how many kilos are in this bin? And what is it? And why are you wasting? And how much did it cost you? And I couldn't get an answer. I would see that blank look on their faces, and I would be like, I don't think it's a stupid question, and it's funny that you can't answer it. And that's still the case. And this lack of knowledge, I think, is essential and what actually drawn me into this sort of topic. Then I realized the amazing impact of food waste from a social and environmental perspective. But then I knew that this angle, the financial aspect, would be the key lever to get the industry to move on this topic, as Vincent mentioned earlier. So that's how I started. But at the beginning, I was like, okay, but that's funny. There must be some people working on it. And actually, no. At the time, there was actually no actual definition of what is food waste. And I was like, but we don't really care. I mean, we know this is food that is going to the bin. It's wrong. There should be enough to get going. And that's how I started. First, I was alone, so convinced a general manager to let me try a methodology that I built. I was at the back of house measuring every food that was going to the bin out of 8 different recording points. And then moving forward, fine-tune our methodology, train the staff, collect data, and trying to review the procedures. And actually all this work actually combined created very nice results. But we were way too early at the time to get the industry to move because the figures that we had was not digestible. That was not acceptable. It was just too freaky, It was like, this is too big. You must be wrong. We're doing great. See you later. So I was like, no. Let's continue. Let's persist. And well, now 10 years later, we have designed multiple type of solutions because I think that food waste is a complex issue that requires elaborated solutions. So technology, I was presented earlier, is part of it. Collecting data, information to answer the key question, how much, when, where, what, and why is food wasted is essential. But what is essential too is to work on the brain and on the heart of people that are working in the kitchen. So what we say always with our customers is like, start with the why. Start to get your team to understand why food waste is an issue. Otherwise, they would see it as something that is pushed on them. That is something that that is a new constraint. Oh, we don't have time. It's super busy, etc. Now you want me to segregate and weigh food? Yes, but if they can answer why, like from a financial, environmental, social point of view, then they would contribute. Not only they would do what is requested, but they will come up with ideas. But it's not yet enough. Even though you can start with awareness raising and monitoring, I think you can probably reduce food waste by 30 to 40%. Even more if you're really into it. But then you need some sort of methodology, and that's how the Pledge on Food Waste certification was actually created, by realizing that you kind of need a roadmap, to take the terminology, a set of requirements that you follow to make sure that you have all preventive measures in place to minimize food waste at first, but then to also look at, once you have minimized, what can you do to redistribute for human consumption through app or through charities? If not possible, what do you do with the remaining organic to transform it into animal feed, if it's possible, or to transform it into something valuable, such as waste to energy or waste to compost, and to re-nourish the soil. So that's the approach, which is zero food waste to landfill approach, which technically then led us to the final slide, which is the zero food waste to landfill Mauritius project, which was basically a combination of, well, all the know-how accumulated over those years and the different type of solutions that I presented earlier, from the capacity building of the 10 restaurants that were actually implementing the solution, but also the capacity building of local consultants that were involved in the project so that they could carry on this project once we are out, plus the technology to capture data and understand and answer those key questions. And that is encapsulated into this certification system that is providing the right methodology to follow through. And I think the figures speak for themselves. We're talking about only 10 restaurants, so 43% reduction in food waste per cover. That's the key indicator we're looking at. 62,000 kilos of food that were not wasted, and accumulated 210,000 USD saving equivalent for those 10 beneficiaries. So that's what I wanted to share, and I hope we have a chance to discuss separately the possibility to replicate this sort of very cost-effective and scalable system. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin, for sharing such an inspiring example of a destination taking action on food waste.